let's talk a little bit about the possible effects of NIL legislation that's going through the states right now. And I have a feeling, as I was kind of reading up on this topic, that you might have to rewrite the sports and your textbook. It might need a 14th edition.
Right. Well, you know, and there's no way that I could cover this in any detail because every state is doing it differently.
Yeah.
And what they've got legislators are boosters for a lot of the state sport teams. So what the legislators are trying to do is, if I'm in Florida, I want to give athletes more benefits than they're getting in Georgia because, we're recruiting against Georgia. So I want to sell, I want to help the coaches sell the program to the athletes so that we can win national championships and so on and so forth and boost the reputation of our state and everything else. So every state is different in terms of these NIL rules. And so the NCAA obviously is seeing this as anarchistic. It's going to be total chaos with every state legislature competing with other state legislatures.
And then you'll have the universities, having different aspects of, oh, well, come on over here. I mean, if you go to school at UCLA, think of the NIL opportunities you might have with Hollywood right there and everything in close proximity. I mean, the recruiting would be unbelievable.
Right. And then
very lopsided.
Do you need a lawyer or an agent to help you to discern whether Texas's laws are better for you than Georgia's laws or Florida's laws? And the states have taken that into account. They have said the athletes can have an agent to help them with this. And so now we've got seniors in high school, juniors in high school, who are going to have to start getting legally up to date on all the different laws in all the different states and what kind of benefits they're going to get here and there, and hire a lawyer or an agent who will help them do that. And how are they going to pay for them? And, so there's all sorts of issues that are being raised now, and nobody has the answers.
Well, so college athletes, I was trying to remember, I think it's 97% of athletes that play college don't play in the pros. So there's only like 3%, right, that moves on. You think about, well, the pros do it, why can't college players do it? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of athletes having to go through, it sounds so easy to say that they should be paid. They're, they should be able to make money. Here's a kid who's getting a great education. Okay, that hopefully they're taking advantage of that. Hopefully the coach, best case scenario, the coach allows you to take advantage of that. Recruiting is so kind of difficult right now anyway, but then to put on top of that, coaches saying, oh, you can't be in science because we can't have you going to labs when we have practice. Sometimes you can't study what you want to, and it's really surprising. But especially if you're playing so that you get an education,
right?
If that's your payment, then you should let them actually get the education. But that's another story.
What if your football team goes to a bowl game and your university gets $500,000 for that, and they give you a bag of goodies when you get there, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're missing Christmas or New Year's or time with your family and everything else. And so one of the big next lawsuits will be revenue sharing of TV rights, and who, should the athletes get a share of that? And then how is it going to be divvied up? And all of those issues are going to be real sticky.
Do you see them becoming more organized, unionized? What do you think in looking back on the 40 years of research and connections between sports and culture and society? What effects might come to pass?
Yeah, well, college athletes have always had a hard time organizing because the people who have been around the track a couple of times, who are juniors and seniors, they're going to be the leaders. And once they become the leader for a year, they graduate, or, they go off and do something else. And so you don't have consistent leadership. It's really tough to form an athlete controlled organization when students are only there for 4 years and it takes them at least 2 to figure out what's going on. So, I don't see a union in a traditional sense at a university level or at a, Division I level being necessarily the way to go. Even if athletes get paid, a lot of athletes wouldn't want to get paid in the sense that it would, or join a union in the sense that, God, now we got to pay union dues. Now I've got to go to meetings. Now I've got to listen to contract negotiations. And if I do get a few dollars, I've got to be paying taxes on that. And do I get unemployment compensation? Do I get workers' comp? All of these issues that comes along with employment and, union labor deals and so on. Those are all really difficult. I can see some kind of an independent organization helping athletes through this, and those organizations already exist.
Yeah.
And states, by the way, are allowing athletes now to hire consultants. What is it called? Over-endorse, where they help athletes. You can hire them to help athletes get endorsement deals. Now, the university can't do that.
Yeah.
But the university can in a sense employ a third party to do that with athletes. Or how do I, who do I get to train our athletes to become influencers so that they can get paid for posts and so on. All of this is happening now in a kind of a chaotic way.
And just so everyone knows I hate social media to begin with, but it is hard work. It does not look like it. It is very difficult. So it's not like, it would be just money thrown at them. If you're going to build your name, image, and likeness, even though you have this great skill, it is still very hard work. So I'm warning all the high school students that think that this is going to be a windfall. You still have to work for it.
Yeah. If you want to become a brand, then it takes time. And by the way, how are you going to practice and do your schoolwork and become a brand? That's another set of issues that's going to be
Would
difficult.
Universities be able to hire someone to do the social media for the kids? And I mean, could that be part of their recruiting packages? Or is the NCAA going to knock that down too?
I can tell you right now that there are people in communication departments and IT departments who are putting together courses, getting approved by curriculum committees right now on how to become an influencer. They won't call the course that, and it'll be a course where athletes will take the course for credit. And they may be what are called PopUp Courses, which are 1 credit hour courses that are offered on a semi-regular basis for a bunch of athletes who want to know.
The new athlete development.
Yeah. And I'll take a course and I'll get credit. And during the course, I'm going to do some of my social media stuff.
Wow.
So and is the university going to approve that? Is that academically justifiable? Well, I think it is, but there's some faculty that might have a problem with that.